Hey again, this is Andy from potatoesandpearls.com, and I miss eating out. I miss going to restaurants. I miss going to brunch. I live in Baltimore, Maryland, and I feel like we have some of the best brunch restaurants and so many good places to eat. But I am self-distancing, and I have been in the house, and I have been working my 9 to 5 from home. So I have been attempting to make things I wouldn't normally make at home. One of the restaurants that I am missing is Texas Roadhouse. Though I like to eat at different, sometimes fancy establishments, I sometimes just want honey butter bread, okay? I just want the butter with the cinnamon. I just want the bread. So I have a bread maker because I hate rolling dough. I am going to attempt to make Texas Roadhouse rolls using the bread maker. And it seems like there is a similar way that people have been making their Texas Roadhouse rolls from home. I'm gonna try to put together the most common ingredients, the most common measurements that I can find, and create Texas Roadhouse rolls, but mixing the dough in the bread maker. At the time of recording this intro, I don't know how these are gonna turn out. I hope they turn out good because I really miss eating out good bread. So just fingers crossed this goes really well. If so, then you guys have a new recipe with Texas Roadhouse rolls using the bread maker. So enough of all this talking, let's get into it right after this. Let's get started. That is 2 1/4 teaspoon of yeast. And I'm going to put in 1 cup of milk. And I'm also going to put in 6 tablespoons of butter to get us started. I do just want to make a note, this is my first time making rolls. I made biscuits in a video a little while ago. I think I'll link that somewhere here. But that was my first time making biscuits. I'm like really testing new stuff out right now. So we'll see how this goes. I put in 1 teaspoon of salt, and I also put in 1 large egg, and then I put in 4 cups of flour. I put it in this order per some of the recipes that I read online. They said this is the order you want to go in. Maybe if I try this again, I might try a different order, just because this is a bread maker. It was kind of hard trying to find something about mixing the dough in the bread maker, so I'm low-key winging it. I'm putting in 2 tablespoons of honey right now. I'm just trying to make sure I get all of that honey off the tablespoon spoon. And that is everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and close my bread maker and set it on the dough function, and we're gonna see how the dough turns out. And here's my cutting board. I like to put down some flour so my dough doesn't stick. And this is the dough, which when it came out, it kind of looked like biscuit dough. So I don't know if the yeast was activated. I am going to try to research this a little bit more, just because sometimes with a bread maker you put in the yeast last. So I need to research that a little bit more, but it still felt like dough. And I was showing you my square baking pan because at Texas Roadhouse, the rolls are like kind of a square shape. So instead of putting them on like a baking sheet, I just went ahead and divided the dough out evenly into my already square shaped pan, and this made about 12 rolls. So I read in a couple of places that when you work the dough, you should fold it over. I guess that makes it easier to split in half. And so I have gone ahead and divided up my dough and put it all into different sections. I did let it sit for a little while just because I read that you're supposed to let the dough rise, but it didn't really rise that much. While I did let it sit, I started making the honey butter, which you saw was 1 stick of butter, the cinnamon, and 1 1/2 tablespoon of powdered sugar. And that was 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And now I'm putting in 2 tablespoons of honey. Once I get all of that honey in there, I'm going to go ahead and blend this up. I used a spatula that I normally use for cakes. That's like a hard metal spatula to kind of break this up. The butter wasn't super soft, and I didn't want to use melted butter to then like solidify it. So I'm working near the stove was preheated, so the butter is melting down, and then I'm just getting all that honey and cinnamon and butter and sugar all mixed together. And this is what I saw on a lot of different sites. Some of them had for making a whole bunch of the honey butter. This was just like a smaller recipe. And we're gonna go ahead and put the bread in the oven. After I finish mixing this, is on 350 for 12 to 15 minutes. And this is what came out of the oven. I know that these do not look like Texas Roadhouse rolls. Once again, this is my first time making rolls and using the bread machine to mix rolled dough. So something I did was off. I need to do some research because there was no good recipe for putting it in the bread maker. So I kind of just followed the steps and pretended the bread maker was my hands. But I will say, these rolls are so good. And I guess if the yeast did not activate, I guess we could consider them more a biscuit. But regardless, it was super good. And the butter cinnamon combo, delicious. If you take anything away from this video, please take that away. Go use it on bread, use it in the morning, use it on your French toast. It was so good. But these turned out really good. I'm actually still like eating them. I didn't throw them away. They're not hard. They're really soft on the inside. I really like them. I hope that this video was helpful, informative, something to watch. I like to post on here, even if it's like not a perfect recipe, it's something that is like, hey, look at my experience. Maybe I'll try it again later. If you like this video, don't forget to click the like button. And if you are into food videos with a little bit of travel, don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. It would mean a lot to me if you did. And once again, hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you guys next time. Bye.